Okay, so this is a recording talking to Ben, and I'm going to show him the wonders of IntelliJ. And you remember the Matrix when Agent Smith says to him, says, "Have you ever marveled at the beauty of it?" Okay, so let's do this a couple ways. I'll just bring up IntelliJ, uh, and it should be starting. Bingo. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to share that. Thank you for reminding me. Uh, uh, uh. Oh, back to this. Back to this. Come on now. There it is. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully, let me know if you can see my screen. Okay. So, wow. I'm voice calling, sharing my screen on Slack, and QuickTime recording. This ought to be interesting. Uh, All right, so if you never used IntelliJ before, it comes up looking like this. If you already have a project open, then it looks like this. So that's an open project there. Um, so let's start with no project. Let's create one. So you can close a project here by if you have one open, you can click File, Close Project, and it takes you back to the main splash screen here. I'm going to create a new project, and it's going to put me through this wizard. And there is, I want Java selected on my left. Nothing, no checkboxes there, and it's not Groovy. It's not any of those other ones. It's just Java. I'm going to click Next. And if you choose this, it gives you a main. Normally, you do that because until you get into Spring, you just need a regular old main. All right. So I normally click that command line thing, and I click Next. And then this says give it a name, and I'm going to give it a name. And when I give it a name, it's going to append down to this project location. So I'm going to, right now I have it in a place I don't want it going. So I'm going to change, /temp is a good place for me to put projects. So now I'm going to give it a name like starter. And I want it, normally it'll fill this in for you, starter. So I gave it a name, and normally when you give it a name, it appends onto the end of where your project location is if you're not changing it, but this time I was changing it, so I gave it a name, and I also made sure that this project location is where I want the project to go. Okay, now this base package, this time, either empty and you have no package, or com.example if you want it to have a package. In the beginning of Java, there's no package implied, so let's just do this one with no package. We can create one as we want. So clicking Finish, directory does not exist, go ahead and create it. So there is my main. Over here on the left is a project window. You can expand, and you can see that under source I have a main. And if we go to the command prompt, I should do this in white since people are going to look at this. I go to my temp directory. I have in here, it created a starter file for me. And if I run tree on this, you can see that there's just a source directory with a main in it, and a starter.iml. That's what IntelliJ puts in there. So far, so good. I have a main. So the nice thing about IntelliJ is it has some macros. So system out print line starts with SOUT. So if you do SOUT, it'll give you a list of things to choose from, and it gives you a system out print line. And that's kind of a pain. It's nice that you don't have to type that every time. So I'm going to do that again just for people who are looking. SOUT, boom, you have a system out print line. Hello. Actually, I'm going to take it one step further. Public static void main starts with PS, public static void main. That's another one. That'll give you a main if you don't have it. So the first 4 letters of that, PSVM, and now sysout will give you a system out. Okay. So those are nice shortcuts. You can tell I've been doing JavaScript. I was going to single quote it. Java, double quote, hello. Now, all you got to do is click anywhere on your main here, right click and run. And this is how you run a main, whether it be a Spring app or a regular old Java app. This is all you need to run Spring and to run a Java app. And here's your output window below. You with me? Okay, couple things here. See this pull down in the upper right? You can always just run main here. Once you've run it once, it'll show up in this window and you can go here and click it again. You can minimize this bottom window. There's a little, you see where my mouse is over here in the bottom right? There's a little collapse thing, it goes away. Sometimes this, you double click on this is like Eclipse. You double click on this little tab here, it maximizes it, you double click again, it sets it back to where it was. Sometimes this project window will go away. Mystery to me why, but this icon in the bottom left, if you just hover over it, it'll show you the windows that you can bring back up. So when that project window goes away, you come over here and you click on project and you get this project window again on the left, which is, you use that a lot. I don't know what makes it go away, but it's nice to bring it back. Yeah, how the heck do I get that back? I wonder if there's a window thing. I don't. Well, that's the way you do it. Okay, so we have a main. We have this. So if you want to create a package, you right-click wherever source is the root, right? So I can right-click on source and I can say new package, and do com, and now I have a com package, and I can right-click on that and I can do new package example, and I'll have com example, okay? Then I can go click on my main. You can do this on any file and do refactor. And there's a lot of ways you can refactor that file. You can rename it, blah, blah, blah. One of the things is I can move it, and I'm going to move it to my com example package. Boom. So I just refactored it, and I moved it out of there, and you see how the package changed in here. So refactor is a nice thing that you can do many different things on. Refactor is, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there, right? Move and rename are only the 2 things that you really use from time and time again. Let's see. So that's that. Let's say you're going to create a bean, okay? Just something that just has fields. So new Java class, give it a name like foo, right? And now I have that bean. And then this is what's really cool about it. This is going to save you a lot of typing. Let's give it a private, and it'll, guess what you're talking about, right? Private string name and a private Boolean flag, okay? Now you just let IntelliJ do all the rest of the work for you. You want a constructor, so you want to get to this generate function. You can right click on this thing to generate, or you can go up here to code generate. There's a generate in here somewhere. Where are you? I thought it was in here. Oh well, never mind. Right click, put your caret, put the cursor where you want the generate stuff to go. And you right click. Generate has a command N, which is what I do almost all the time. But this first one I'll do this way. And you pick, what do you want to do? Constructor? Constructor. What fields do you want in your constructor? Boom, there's a constructor. Okay, let's do another one. I'm going to do Command N, and I'm going to say generate getters and setters, and I'm going to choose them both. There's all your getters and setters. It gets better. It gets better. Watch this. Generate your equals and hash code, and it puts you through a wizard. What do you want to do for equals and hash code? I'm just going to take all the defaults. There's equals and hash code, and last but not least, generate toString. Boom. All you did was write these first 2 lines of code, and it generated everything else for you, and that is a huge time saver. Yeah, and if when you have an error, like I mistyped return there, it turns red, it underscores it, and if you click on the underscore, you get this little light bulb on the side that gives you suggestions on what to do. Okay, so you'll see that a lot when if you're going to import something here. Let's go into the constructor and let's do something that has an exception. Like let's do file reader. See how it gives you your choices there of what the heck do you really want? I want a file reader. And file reader equals new file reader and system in or something. Then when you do something like see how it's red there? And you put your mouse over the red thing and you get this red light bulb, you'll say, well, it's got an exception. You got to deal with it. So you can say surround with try catch, and you got to try catch there. So it'll suggest to you how to solve your compiler problems. All right, so far so good. I'm going to get rid of that. Now, let's see, interface. You created an interface. Let's say you have an interface here. A new, Java class, and I'm going to call it Boo, and I'm going to make it an interface. And in Boo, I'm going to say void do it. Okay, that's my interface method. And then I implement that. This is back. I'm going to do who implements Boo. Then back to that generate thing. You say generate the implemented methods, and it'll generate your implemented method. That's more generate. So let's say, okay, so that's all a new project. Let's say we want to import a project, like you've cloned somebody's repository, you want to look at it, or something like that. Let's go out to Spring, all the Spring guides. Here's all the Spring guides, Spring Boot guides. I'm going to pick one that is web, something, building a RESTful, consuming a RESTful web cert, securing web, serving up web content with Spring MVC. So in here, you can clone their repository. Where's the clone? Clone. Here's the clone. I'm going to clone the repository. So I'm going to go to my temp, and I'm going to get clone. Boom. Oh. I already had get clone on there. All right, so it's off of here, it's GS something, GS serving web content. So you can go in here and you can either go new project import from there, or if you close this project, you can do it from the main splash screen. Say, import project. So you go find your POM. See, all those things are Maven builds, so they have a POM XML. So in temp, I'm going to go, not public, temp. GS serving, and in these, by the way, in these Spring Boot guides, they have an initial that you work off and a complete to give you the answer. So I'm just going to go to complete. You click on the POM, you say OK, And then I just take all the defaults, next, 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 boom. So now I have, and that's how you import a Maven project. Now, if it isn't a Maven project, like it's just got a main, let's say you clone, like in the beginning, you clone somebody's repository, then all you do in that case is you go find the top level of it. You go new project thing. You go find the top level. Let's go find one. Here, Eric has one. Eric. So this is the top level. You just pick the top level and you just say import that. And you can bring that up. You just take all the defaults. So if it's a Maven thing, you choose the POM. If not, you pick the top level to import a project. And then you just right click on main and run the main, and it runs for you. And it generates stuff. Anything that you have on your mind? Yeah, it is huge. Yeah. Yeah. You can put this video in as a supplemental. Yeah. So there's going to be other things that come up. Let's run that for the hell of it. Let's just go run. Oh, so you can go here and you can go open recent. So I'm going to go back to that one that we opened for this. Let's run this Spring app. Okay. Because you were talking about, hey, do we need the paid version? No, you don't. So let's go to the main of that Spring app, which is this one, because you see their public static void main. Right click on it, run it, and you'll watch the spring scroll blindness will come up. We'll see it in the output here in a moment. Okay, so here's Spring Boot starting up. You're going to see a little ASCII Spring splash screen here in a moment. There it is, the ASCII Spring splash screen. And when this thing's done, like the second to last line is going to say, I'm listening on 8080. So Node listens on 3000 because we program it this way. This thing, see that second to last line, Tomcat starting up on 8080? So then you just go to 8080, of course, localhost 8080. Hello, click here to see your greeting. Hello world, and in this case, if you give it a name equals Bob. Hello, Bob. So that's what this, and all those Spring guides are like 15 minutes. And if you wanted to look at some of them, I could give you a list of about like 6 or 7 of the ones that are pertinent to what we're teaching. Cool. All right. So anyhow, so you can see how this is the free version of IntelliJ, and you can. That's all you need. I'm going to start that Spring app up another way. If I go into GS complete, in Maven, with Maven you do Spring -boot run, and this is how you run it from the command line. Boom, boom, boom. Same thing. You get the same splash screen, and then it's listening on 8080. But you know what's nice about running it on the command line is in your IntelliJ over here, you don't need this output screen, so you get more real estate for your code. All right. Anyhow, no big deal. I'll show you. I'll bring it back up. All right. So it's up. Come here. Here, I'll select it. Spring Boot run. Yeah. I'll select this to you. After the video's done, I'll slack it to you. And then I got to go. I got a 1 o'clock project kicked off, so I got to run. All right. You're welcome. Bye.